Hey everyone, welcome back and happy Monday. Okay, guys, so we're back to talk about Tom Sandoval a little bit because he is now sharing even more reasons why him and Ariana are still living under the same roof, but he's also sharing his feelings on Rachel, which I'm just shocked that he's sharing this. We'll get into it. And I know you guys have heard about the Kristen Doty talking about Lisa's daughter, Pandora, and her accent. We're going to talk about that a little bit too, because she just does not care anymore. She doesn't have to. She's not on Vanderpump Rules. So, all right, here we go. Also, before we jump into that, thank you guys so much for understanding that we don't have hot, messy topics this week unless we're able to squeeze one in on Thursday. If you saw my house right now, we're in the middle of a move and it is just wild. So there's things everywhere and it's just a lot to juggle. And we're about to get ready for BravoCon. Smash that like button, show some love, do all the YouTube things, and let's get right into it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Cause no one can do it like we do it, like we do it, like we do it. Yes. Okay. So thank you to Reality Blurb for sharing this with us. But Tom Sandoval is claiming that high interest rates as of late have led to his months-long awkward living arrangement with his ex-girlfriend, Ariana Madix. Now, it was during last week's episode of his new podcast where he opened up about continuing to live with Ariana post-Sandoval. And that has to be awkward considering his affair with Raquel. But while also saying that when it came to his public birthday wishes to Rachel, he wasn't sending them for any other reason than the fact that he missed her. Okay. He said, I'm not a very wishing Rachel a happy birthday was not calculated. He said, I fucking miss her. I'm not a schemer like that. I don't do that. I do like when it comes to surprise parties and things like that, but that's not the way I spend my time and that's not the way I choose to spend my time. I like to live in the moment with people and experience awesome times and bond and fucking hug and love. I mean, if I had $1 for every time he said then I would be one happy camper, but I don't. So let's get back to it. But he did say, I fucking miss her. Okay. Now, as fans likely heard, Sandoval didn't get a hug from Rachel after sharing the message in the comments section of one of her Instagram posts. Instead, he got blocked by her after telling her he missed her and hoped that she was finding her peace. I think why was because a part of her program is accepting responsibility, which a lot of people felt like she did not do in that interview on Bethany Frankel's Just Be With Bethany podcast. A lot of people didn't feel like she was accepting responsibility, but instead she was placing more blame. And some of her statements contradicted themselves. She contradicted herself with I realized that my mental health it's just worth more to me than being on any reality show. But then in the same breath, she was like, but I wanted equal pay to Tom and Ariana. And I also wanted them to pay for my treatment and they wouldn't do that. So since they didn't do that, I didn't go back. Just that alone being on the podcast, which I'm surprised that Bethany Frankel didn't call this out in the middle of the podcast, but I think that she was just trying to cater to Rachel in this moment. I get that, but fans didn't. Fans did not get that. It was a contradiction. That's the best way that you could put it. So from there, he also said that he hopes that fans will go back to thinking of him a little bit more like glass half full and less calculated, as he admitted that he's a little bit more guarded since the scandal. He said that if he could go back in time, he wouldn't have hooked up to begin with. I would have gotten out of my relationship, ripped the Band-Aid off, not delayed the whole scenario. But during another segment of his show, he also addressed his cohabitation with Ariana. He said, because of interest rates right now. That's a part of it. Since they purchased the $2 million home in 2019, the average 30-year fixed interest rate has gone from under 4% to about 7.88%, according to CNET. And while they will certainly make money when they sell it, they'll have to split the earnings and put them towards a new home. So in the meantime, Sandoval said that he and Ariana are doing the best to make it work. We're on opposite sides of the house, and we're obviously trying to figure out exactly what our next move is. Thought we got it figured out, and I kind of had, but it's really not that big of a deal in that sense. There's plenty of room in the house to be on separate sides. Yes, while we're filming Vanderpump Rules, we are obviously not traveling a lot, but before leading up to that, we were both traveling a lot, and now afterward, we're still again both traveling a lot. So he's saying this is not a big deal. They have figured it out. A lot of people think, oh, well, Ariana, if it was so hard and you were so heartbroken, why are you still living with him? I don't think that that's a fair assessment. I think that she's explained why she's living with him. And as long as her boyfriend doesn't care, which if he did care, that should probably be like, okay, well, that's already a red flag. As long as he doesn't care, I don't think that she cares. Wait, before we get back into Tom Sandoval, tasteofreality.com posted this, and I thought that this was hilarious. So Kristen Doty threw a little bit of shade at her former friend, Pandora, unless they're still friends, but she accused Lisa's daughter of faking her British accent. This was during an episode of Kristen's Sex, Love, and What Else Matters podcast. And she said, you hear her slipping in and out of the accent. And that was at a party that they both attended. She doesn't use the accent unless she's with her parents. Maybe it's a thing that they have. I don't know about like a respect thing. I don't know what it is. But she said, Pandy, I love you. But the accent only comes out when you're on TV or when you're with your parents. So that's it. Now, fans of Pandora and LVP came out and they took a stand against Kristen's claim, saying she's dual continent. So having a British mother and father, but being in America, you will have a mixed accent, Dorit Kemsley. This isn't news. It's an anthropological and linguistic phenomenon to change your speech pattern depending on who you're with, including an accent. I do it having grown up in countries. It's subconscious mirroring. Nobody came after Dorit. Her accent changes like this. Yes, a lot of people have come after Dorit. Let me just state as someone who lived in the UK as long as Pandora did, when I'm around my British family, my accent comes back. I don't even notice it. Nah. When I'm with my family, my Southern accent comes out when I'm around them. So leave Pandora alone. Wow, guys. I mean, no holding back here. Now back to the Tom Sandoval of it all. I don't know if you guys are watching right now, but he is on a show called Special Forces, and there was a clip that was released from one of the episodes. It was Monday's episode, and he said, I've got a lot of thoughts going through my head right now. I've had a hell of a past like 3 months. He went on while he was crying, and he was telling former Special Forces officer Billy Billingham and Jason Fox about how he had a months-long relationship with his co-star while dating his longtime girlfriend. He said, it was just the perfect storm. Like my publicist had never seen anything like it. A fucking reality star having an affair on CNN. It's so stupid. It became this Team Ariana thing. They sold $200,000 in merch in like 2 weeks. Now, he admitted that he struggled with people he's been friends with for well over a decade, turning on him, referring to several of his co-stars. And he did say it was just exhausting. However, neither of the military members were having any of his confessions, and they looked away from him. They said, if you want to play the victim, it makes it look pathetic. You're not a victim. You created this. Then they also added that the first thing you should be doing is owning it. Yeah, I mean, he did say that he wanted to take a beating. He also said the whole country's pissed off at him. And you can see him. Tom also knows how to put on a show. That's kind of where I waver in this. And I'm like, how much of this is him acting and how much of this is him being a legitimate person who is sharing their authentic feelings? Like, are you an actor or are you sharing your feelings? Because sometimes I just want to be like, stop acting, Tom. But I want to hear what your guys' thoughts are. So go ahead, comment below, let us know. And more importantly, before you dip out of here, do all the YouTubey things, smash the like buttons, show some love, and let's get right into it. Well, I guess let's get right out of it.